what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining back into the channel, tapping back into the channel. I got a very, very special guest with me. Another one of my young bulls, one of my young Jedis that I raised up from a little baby. Keelan White, one of the top receivers coming out of the FCS this year. You know, we're gonna get into his career. We're gonna get into everything. But how you doing today, Keelan?
I'm doing good. Doing good today. Thanks for having me on here.
Man, I appreciate you for joining me, man. You know, obviously you came in 2019, young guy. We could tell you had a lot of juice and, you know, a lot of ambition. And we all saw what it turned into in your Montana career. But, you know, I appreciate you coming on. How has things been for you since the season ended?
Things have been good. Yeah, I just been it's been a slow process getting healthy again, but I mean, we're getting back into it now, so it's good to get started on some stuff for sure. So yeah, been doing good.
For sure. So getting healthy again. Look, without getting too detailed, you know, if you want to get detailed, you can. But you know, what do you mean by getting healthy again?
Well, I got injured in that Cal Poly game, and then fought through some stuff for the UC Davis, and then obviously ended up getting another injury after that. So I was playing through those two all the way through the end of the season, and then now I'm just.
It was I thought it was Portland State.
I missed Portland State because I got injured. Yeah. So I did my ankle. I had a high ankle sprain after Cal Poly, and then I was like, yeah. So then I tried to play in the UC Davis game, and then I ended up spraining my Liz Frank after that. So it was like back to back weeks, like bam bam. So that kind of sucked.
Was it same foot injury?
No, different. So my left ankle, and then I did my right foot. So probably, I mean,
couldn't even run out there.
Yeah, I was compensating obviously, and ended up injuring myself again. But I mean, it is what it is.
So how's the rehab and, you know, the getting back up to 100% process been, and where are you at right now?
It's been good. I went home for a little bit after the season to do some PRP treatment, and so I got some PRP injections the last couple weeks, and then I just got down here last week to start my training. So it's a lot better now. Like I'm able to do a lot more stuff, and I should be able to start running in the next week or two. So yeah, I'll be fine.
So for people that don't know, what is PRP?
So yeah, there's a lot of people don't know what it is, and I didn't even know. It was actually really interesting. They basically they take your blood out, they draw your blood, and then they spin it around and separate the plasma. So PRP is platelet rich plasma.
Yeah.
So they take the platelets and they have the syringe of just straight platelets, and then they inject it into whatever injury you have, and it's full of like collagen and all this other healing properties, and basically just accelerates that healing process.
You feel like that really helped you when you had that operation done?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I was it was kind of still like hurting, and then I got it done, and now like a couple weeks later, I'm already feeling improvements. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely helped.
Were you sitting there watching them do this? Do they put you under, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it while I wasn't looking at it, but it's a big ass needle, and it hurt. But yeah, they use a guided injection, so they use the ultrasound to guide the needle in, and then they inject it. So I got a bunch of pokes. I got poked like 10 or 12 times, and I did that twice. So that was not
fun. so you get to so you said you've been training for about a week. So that means where are you training at? How did you pick your training spot? You know, did you have an agent help you out with that? Talk a little bit about that training process and where you're at with it now.
Yeah, so I mean, I put off the agent and stuff till like the end of the season. Like my dad kind of handled all that. I'm praised to him because he's like, I'll deal with it, and then I'll let you decide. So all the agents were contacting him, trying to get in contact with me, but I was trying to focus on the season. So after the season, went through that whole process on the phone for like a couple weeks, just trying to figure it out. And I ended up finding an agent, and then as I'm talking to agents, they all have like these training places that like I'm gonna bring you here. And then there was this guy, Dela Cruz. I'm down here at Dela Cruz Sports Performance, and he's super like one-on-one. Like he only brings in like 5 or 6 guys each draft. So he works with like kind of like exactly what I need type stuff. So yeah, it's going good now. So
That one-on-one training is big because I remember when me and Maury were going through the process. He was at Exos in Carlsbad, San Diego area, and I remember he talked about because obviously that's a big Exos is a big training facility. They get some of the best draft prospects coming out, and obviously he was there with a bunch of guys who were projected to go second, third. I think maybe some first rounders, but I think guys who were projected to go like top 4 rounds. And he talked about how obviously Exos was great, the training was great, it was amazing, but there was some aspects of like the guys who were going to the combine get a little bit more attention because the combine is going to be the first thing coming up, and so I think that makes a lot of sense that you would go somewhere where you can get some more individualized training because you want somebody who's going to dedicate that time, energy to you to make sure that you can put out the best product during your pro day.
Yeah, definitely. And like I was during my junior year and my senior, a little bit of the spring last year, I was going down to the House Athlete in Tampa, and just trying to get like a head start on some stuff to see like kind of what it was like. And like while I was down there, like it's all good training and stuff, but like I was kind of like just cast into like, oh yeah, go work with these guys. And,
you're like, just that guy at Montana from an FCS school.
Yeah, just like go do this stuff. Like okay, like that's cool, but like I need somebody to like fully work with me and tell me what's going on. So that's why I picked that place.
So what would you say, and maybe some scouts have told you this, maybe some agents have told you this, what would you say you're prioritizing right now during the draft process, during the
prioritizing speed? Gotta run fast. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta run fast.
Man. Have you guys done any, I mean, I know you're just, getting back to 100% and you just started training. Have you guys done any early timing or anything like that?
No, none of that yet. Kind of just right now is the first phase of just like all the isometric type stuff. So holding those positions, because you have to be strong enough to hold that position if you're running and stuff. So just kind of been doing that, which is also good because I've been doing a lot of barefoot stuff. So it's good rehab for my foot at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing right now. But should be running in a couple of weeks.
For sure.
Yeah.
So staying with the draft, staying with professional football, obviously you are somebody who's from British Columbia, by way of Vancouver. So obviously the CFL is on the table. You're a top 5 CFL prospect this year in the draft. What does it look like in terms of the CFL Combine, Pro Day? How do you decide on what to prioritize within that?
So like in talking with my agent, we kind of decided on that, like being that my CFL draft stock is so high and I'm in that top 5, that I'll probably end up going somewhere in the first round. So going to the CFL Combine won't really improve that at all. It's more of it would only be more risk to go there because they do half pads and you're like running.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so like you're running one-on-ones. You're like, so you do the testing stuff the first day, and then the next day you put on the pads and you run like a full like a Shrine Bowl type thing. Yeah. You do that whole type thing. So
honestly though, like that might be a little better, man.
That's what I think, because then you can actually gauge of like who's a good football player rather than who can take the least amount of steps in the 40 and run the fastest time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I like that format better. But
I get both sides. It's like the one-on-ones and the competition would be great, but then there's that injury risk, and you already coming off a season where you had an ankle injury, a little foot injury, and so it's like do we really want to play with that like that?
Yeah, exactly. So we decided not to go to that. So I'm just prioritizing my pro day now, and the pro day there'll be CFL scouts probably out there.
Oh, for sure.
Anyways, so that would be that would be good enough, I think.
So I remember at the beginning of the season, I talked to you. I think I was I can't remember if I talked to you, at fall camp or if it was outside of fall camp, but you were a top 10 prospect. I think you were number 10 at the start of the season. Oh yeah, it was at the Big Sky game, the night before the first game of the season.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
We were at the high school game. Yeah.
Yeah. So top 10 start of the season. Following the season, top 5. What does it make you like? Just talking to me about how that feels for you, a guy from Canada. Obviously, your father played in the CFL. We can get into that a little bit in a minute too. Now you're a top 5 prospect in the CFL draft. Like, talk about what that feels like, bro.
Yeah, it feels pretty good to get recognized for the player that I am and what I've done. So it is definitely there. The goal was to yeah, I mean, be the best player like that I can be, but I never like you don't really think that that's gonna happen or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just grateful that I'm in the position I am now. But yeah, the goal, like my dad played in the CFL, so like yeah, obviously I wanted to play in the CFL just like him, but I mean, shoot for the stars. I also want to go to the NFL
Yeah.
too. So there's yeah, just want to get there.
So,
Get
so,
there
so talk
somehow.
a little bit about that. Your dad played in the CFL. What kind of influence did that have on you? Was he still in the league when you were a young kid? Did you get to watch him? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I never got to see him play because he played back in the '80s and '90s. But like
Okay.
he always show me pictures and like tell me stories because I'd be curious like how'd you get there, like what was the process like? And he went to Simon Fraser University, which is a D2, is the only NCAA school in Canada. So and that's
Yep.
where most of the CFL draftees come from because those
Yep.
Canadian players play against that American competition. So they come. So he
Yep.
wanted me to kind of do that, and I wanted it too, but to do that kind of process, go down to the States, play against that competition. So then I would be a better prospect for the CFL, and ended up working out that way, which is pretty good. So
So is that kind of like demoralizing for some of the players in Canada that stay and play at a Canada university? That if there's an American player or even a Canadian player that played American ball, he's automatically going to be a leg up on me. What is kind of the conversation in Canada about that discrepancy? I would say.
yeah, I'm not too sure about that because like I mean I feel like it would be kind of a little like damn like this guy is like I like because we have good players in Canada. It's just
Yeah,
it's the
100%.
competition that's the issue.
Yeah,
So, like, there's been a lot of talks of like kind of increasing that competition in Canada and like developing players like me and Nolan have done that, make it happen camp.
yeah,
Like, we're trying to up the competition in Canada to get a little more like respect from from those teams and stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely hard, and there's a lot of politics in the CFL.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's difficult.
It's just different. It's just different,
Yeah.
man. So what? So I want to get off the CFL talk a little bit. I feel like we talked about that enough. Talk about the NFL now. What is your agent kind of telling you about the NFL? Do you know kind of are people looking at you as a preferred? I wanted to say preferred walk on, but like a priority free agent, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I've been talking to my agent. He's kind of put me at the spot of like undrafted free agent
Yep.
ish, but I mean, it really it all comes down to the 40 because I don't really have a draft grade yet there, so it comes down to those numbers on pro day, and those numbers will determine whether I'm undrafted free agent, whatever round I go, or yes or something.
Yeah,
So it comes down to pro day really for the
man. So
NFL.
did you have any potential to go to any like Hula Bowl, Tropical Bowl, any All Star Game, CGS, or anything like that? Was there any talks about that? Any reach out or anything?
I did get I got invited to the Gridiron Showcase,
Yeah,
and was talking about going to some other ones, but then kind of decided like I need to get healthy first because I wouldn't
yeah,
be able to go there anyways.
yeah.
So I ended up opting out of those and just focusing on my rehab and getting back healthy. Yeah.
For sure. Well, you're right. You're right where you need to be now. Then.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to high school now.
Yeah.
BC. Correct me
Mhm.
if I'm wrong. The only province in Canada that plays American football at the high
Yes.
school level.
Yes.
So you were playing American football growing up. Talk
Mhm.
a little bit about a young Keelan, freshman Keelan. What were you as a football player as like a freshman?
As a freshman, I
Yeah.
played running back actually.
Ah.
I was because my dad played running back all the
Yeah.
way up until he got to school, and then he got switched to linebacker, but he was running back. So I
Okay.
kind of I played running back because initially I was in youth football playing quarterback, and then I was actually getting mad because I'm like, Dad, why do I always have to give the ball to somebody else? Why can't I just run it? So I ended up just going to running back, and then they'd hand the ball off to me and whatever. So yeah, so I ended up going to high school as a running back. But I mean, me with my build, skinny little kid, I ended up switching to receiver after that, kind of growing into the position that I was meant for, I guess, that my body fit better.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, high school running back into receiver, and then just from there, just it took off after that.
So when did you kind of start to see like that you would? Because I think obviously your senior year, you were the guy. Team wasn't great. You were amazing. But like early on, that sophomore year, when you make the transition to receiver, when did you start to see it? Was it that year? Was it your junior year? When did you start to see that potentially you could take this to the next level?
Yeah, it was so sophomore was that sophomore's grade 10 in high school, right?
Yep.
10th grade is you Americans would say.
Is it different? Do you guys not use numbers?
No, it's grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. Just that.
Oh, but you guys don't use the words like sophomore, junior.
Yeah, sophomore, junior. Yeah, no, we don't use those. So
sophomore is grade 10. Grade 10.
Okay. So my grade 10 year, I switched to receiver, and then that spring, I started doing some 7-on-7 with Game Ready Elite. So we would go down again to the States and play against that competition and stuff. So I kind of started to realize then, like, I mean, I can catch, like, I was catching everything. So I'm like, I'm a pretty good receiver. I can catch the ball. My routes were probably a little raw, but like I was good at catching the ball. So that's when I realized like I could do something with receiver. So after going through that 7-on-7 circuit and then going into my grade 11 year, I was a pretty good receiver. And I was like, yeah, I can go somewhere with this.
Man. Yeah. Okay, so now we're good. You know, we know we're good. Now now transition into the recruitment, because obviously you're out of Canada, just like you mentioned. We got to go down to the States to visit all these schools. What was the recruitment like for you? Was it the doors blown open, or was it minimal? Talk about it a little bit.
No, it was more like, hey, door slammed in your face kind of type thing. that's what it was. Yeah, it was hard getting recruited in the States, especially like me being an average sized receiver. I wasn't a freak athlete. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't anything like that. So like most people explained it to me as like, why would these coaches go for an average size receiver in Canada that they know nothing about or nothing who he plays against, when they can just go in state and find a 6 foot, 170-pound guy right here, like that. They know
that may not work out, but he's from America.
Work out, but we trust who he plays against, stuff like that. So it was definitely it was a risk factor for coaches to take a chance on me. So I'm glad that Coach Peace ended up taking a chance on me, but it was definitely hard because we would go down to all these camps, talk to all these coaches, and like the receiver coaches and stuff, they'd say like, yeah, you're good, like I like you, but I can't convince my head coach to offer you, type thing. Yeah. So that was the hard part. And then ended up and then from there.
So then when did Montana come into the situation? Were there other FCS schools? Was Montana the only one? Also, I want you to touch on, were you looking at going to college in Canada? Was that on the table as well? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I had offers from almost every school in Canada, and most of the schools, they were just like, yeah, come here, like it's going to be hard to go to the States, so you might as well just come here and stuff. And the only school that told me that didn't tell me that was UBC, University of British Columbia, which is so they didn't tell me that. They were ones, they said, we know you have the potential to go to the States. We're open to you doing that, but we just want us to be your Canadian option. Yeah. So basically, like, commit to us first, and then go explore your recruitment in the States. And if you can't find anything, you have a spot here. And that was the only school that told me that. So that's why I ended up committing there first. So I committed to UBC, and then I just went full in on my American recruitment, and I got in contact with the Eastern receiver coach first, and I ended up going down there for a visit.
Did you make that connection through Nolan?
No, this was just me, like, going to camps, reaching out to people, and I ended up getting a message back, and he said, yeah, come down for a visit. So I went for a visit, and then I came back for a camp, and then he kind of just ghosted me after that. So I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, I was actually excited because I was like, damn, I'm gonna get a chance to go to FCS school.
They already had their Canadian. It was Nolan.
Well, Nolan actually was a year younger than me coming out of high school.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was, or I don't know how that ended up happening, but I was at Eastern. I was talking to Eastern, and then after I got to Montana, I had seen that no one went to Eastern, so I was like, oh,
okay.
yeah. So yeah, I was almost went to Eastern because that happened, and then I ended up getting ghosted. So I was like, well, damn, like I need to find something else. And then Coach Green ended up hitting me up on Twitter in December of my senior year of high school, and then
Dang, late.
Yeah, late. And then Coach Peace ended up coming up to talk to me at my high school and was saying that he likes my game, he likes all this stuff, but he had 2 other receivers offered, and if they didn't take it, then I could have the offer. But they ended up both taking it, and then had to scramble.
Who was that? Would that have been what, like Aaron and Simp?
No, it was Simp and Jesse Owens.
Jesse. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Simp and Jesse Owens, and then so they both took their offers and went. So then in February, he's like, "Well, we could make some room for you and have a preferred walk-on spot." So I ended up taking that preferred walk-on spot and then going down to Montana, and then the rest is history.
So do they offer full ride scholarships in Canada?
No, it's just tuition. So that's another thing is so if you're in Ontario, the OUA, the Ontario University Athletic Conference, I think it's called. I don't know what it's called. It's called the OUA. They can only offer a max of 4,500.
For like in terms of towards your tuition or just in general?
Just
they can only give you 4,500 total.
4,500 total towards your tuition, whatever. So they can only offer that. BC is a max. I don't know what the max is, but I got offered 8,000 for tuition and stuff there. So there's obviously some strings pulled and some loopholes to jump through like that they do. So like to get more money to players, but like there's no like full ride scholarship, room and board, everything covered.
Is school also cheaper up there though?
Yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah.
Dang, so you would rather come to Montana, pay full American tuition, bet on yourself, then go somewhere where they're offering you any type, because Montana's like, we don't have any money for you.
Yeah.
You're coming here as a body and hopefully you work out. But in Canada, they're like, we got some money for you. It's not a full ride scholarship, but we got money for you. Mm-hmm. What went into that decision to bet on yourself and say, yes, it might cost my parents a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3, you never know. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to bet on myself rather than go somewhere where there's more money for me.
Yeah. Well, that was a long conversation. There were some long conversations, talks about that, and some decisions made. And the decision we made was my parents, they only had enough to pay for 1 semester, max 2. Like, cause it's 25 grand a semester for me, Canadian. Yeah. So they had like college fund and all that stuff. So they were able to pay for 1 semester and then drum up some money for the second one. So I ended up, my dad was like, "Hey, you're going to go down there for 1 semester, maybe 1 year. And if you don't get a scholarship, you're going to have to come back." So I was like, might as well take that chance. And then if that doesn't happen, then I can always go back to UBC and play and have a spot there. So, yeah.
So you got put on scholarship after your freshman year. Did you go to the coaches and tell them, "Hey, coach, my parents aren't going to be able to afford it if I don't get a scholarship"? Did you let them know that? Or did they just see the work that you had put in and see who you were as an athlete to give you a full ride scholarship?
I think Coach Peace knew that. I never like told him, but he he knew that I'd be paying my way through. And my dad was like, "Yeah, we're not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to pay for 4 years of walk on. So like, he's going to have to get a scholarship soon. And if not, like he knew I was probably going to have to go back." So there was that there. And thank God for Coach Peace for believing in me.
I know, right? Because I mean, that's a very unique situation, man. Like you hadn't put one down on the field, you hadn't played nothing. All of a sudden, this freshman, and then whole time, you got other guys who may have been putting in more work than you, or not putting in more work than you, but have been there longer than you and may have felt like they earned it, and then you get put on scholarship. Was there like an added piece of like stress that came from trying to earn that scholarship your freshman year?
Definitely, yeah. Like there was always that, like I had that chip on my shoulder, and there was definitely some stress, like watching guys make plays. I'm like, damn, like I need to like
that should have been me.
like things like that. So there was like definitely some stress there, but I knew if I just put my head down and did everything right and was coachable and all those other things, that eventually someone would take notice and I would get that chance, and I ended up getting that chance. So
is there like a piece of you that's like doing math in your head of like, okay, I'm here. This guy's not on scholarship. They could maybe give him one. Like, is that what's going on too?
That was all of fall camp freshman for me. That's what I was doing. I was like asking too, like, you on scholarship? And I'm like, no. Like, okay. Like, you on scholarship? Yeah, okay. Like
You're like, are you on scholarship? He's like, no. You're like, okay, I know I'm better than you, so I'm getting it before you.
Definitely some weight. So yeah, some comparison going on there because I was stressing out like, fuck, I need a scholarship.
So what was it like? I can't remember if they made a team announcement or if it was just kind of under the table. They kind of let you know. What was that conversation like when you found out that you were going to be put on scholarship, and what were the feelings? You know, what did your parents say? Talk about it all. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, that was a huge relief. Well, first of all, probably what a lot of people don't know is I almost blew it all away.
What?
Yes.
Because grades, right? It was grades, wasn't it?
Grades, yeah.
Oh,
I was so focused on the football part of like proving on the field that I didn't do well in school that first semester. So I got had a very fun phone call the day after Christmas with Coach Peace for that.
MFing you.
Yeah.
I bet on you. I brought you here. I didn't have to bring you here. You're dog shit in the class. Oh man, I can only imagine.
Yeah, like I put my jaw in a lot, like that. So that was not fun, and that was a low point. I was stress level was high after that. Like, damn, what do I do? So I had to buckle down in the spring, get my grades up. Ended up doing that, and then it was sometime it was like early summer, like just going into that next, because like that summer my dad's like, well, what are we doing? And I was like, well, I could stay for the summer and see if something happens. So we stayed for the summer, and then at the end of the summer, just like right as the next fall camp was starting, and I was almost damn, like pretty ready to leave. Yeah. I got a text from Leonard. And Leonard,
I forgot you were in the Leonard era.
Yeah, Leonard said, "Come see me in my office." And I was like, "What is this?" I'm either gonna get cut or I'm getting a scholarship. I was like, I don't know.
Either or. Yeah. No in between.
Yeah. And so okay, so I go down to his wherever he had his office.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Yeah, here you go, sign this." And I was like, "What is it?" Well, that's a full scholarship. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. Like I was so happy, so relieved. It wasn't like any like I kind of dreamed of that moment of like, you know, you see all those videos of like, you're on full ride, like you're on full scholarship.
Yeah!
It was nothing like that, but it was the same like feeling of like finally like a lot of relief. And then yeah, I called my parents right after. My mom was like, "What? Are you?" My mom didn't believe me, and are you serious? And yeah, it was just everyone was super relieved and happy, and then yeah, it was just a huge off everybody's shoulders after that.
Oh yeah, man. I'm already knowing, man. I never experienced being a walk-on and getting a scholarship, but I just know the stress that it can put on a family, the stress that it can put on the athlete, undue stress, you know, that you probably shouldn't have to deal with. That is on you because, you know, we only have this money to be able to pay for a semester, maybe 2, maybe 3, you know, but you got to make it happen, man. And you did, especially, you know, you didn't start off on the right foot. Obviously on the field, you're prioritizing, but in the classroom, it's like, you might not even get the opportunity to earn a scholarship because you might get kicked out because of grades.
Yeah. So that was tough.
I mean, I will tell you, I was in a similar position, had good grades my freshman year, but 2016 spring, my first semester I had good grades, but 2016 spring, terrible grades. In my redshirt freshman fall, terrible grades. And I remember Ferreter, our old receivers coach, understood right before they got let go at the end of the season, he sat me down and was like, hey man, like, you know, you're going to be on academic probation. So that 2018 fall that spring, I was actually on academic probation. If I had another bad semester, I was going to be out of school.
Oh, wow.
So, You're not unique. Your situation not unique. I was there as well. We didn't have P, so I didn't get MF. Coach Fair, treated the conversation way differently, but it was still a similar conversation. Like, hey man, you need to get your grades up. And my life situation was so different at that point. But man, I'm glad you can talk about being on the other side of it. Because there's greatness on the other side of it, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so you're in college now. I want to go back a little bit. Freshman year.
Yeah.
What was those first few practices like for you being at the college level in America? What did you notice? What did you notice about the game, about the athletes? Talk about your first experience, stepping on that field for the first time.
Yeah, it was definitely eye-opening because like you go from like I was used to being the guy, and then now you're around all these players that are like better, way better than you. Like you, Samori. Like I was like, damn, like these are football players.
We still had Keenan your senior year, your freshman year too.
No, not Curran.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't there my freshman year.
Oh, he was 18. We had Jerry though, didn't we?
Yeah, Jerry and J Cal and and D Nash and those guys. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, so that was like eye opening for sure. And I was at that first few practices, like, okay, I just need to like absorb. I just need to watch and learn everything, and like watch you guys, watch you to go through one-on-ones. I watch you do drills, and just pick up whatever I could. And yeah, just watching like you guys interact, Coach Peace, like Coach Peace tell you something, you would go out, you'd fix it, do it. I'm like, okay, that's what I need to do to get that, like, to get that noticeable and stuff. So yeah, I was just watching and learning, just being a sponge, trying to absorb everything that I could.
Yeah. So I feel like every young guy in college football has like this aha moment to where like they make a play or they have a good day and like they realize like, oh man, like I belong here. I'm supposed to be here. What was that moment for you?
There was a moment in that first fall camp when it was during youth period or something, and
stupid catch.
Yeah, and I made that catch over Nick G and somebody else. I think it was Trev or something. I can't remember. But I ended up going up and getting it, and after I got it, I just remember I heard Coach Nicholson and like the whole sideline just, "Oh Canada," and I was like, and everyone was like going crazy. I was like, "Yeah, this is fun. I can keep doing this."
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, did you have more to say about that?
No, that was pretty much it.
So I feel like also, it's kind of hard to understand what type of work you need to put in order to be the player you want on the field. I felt like that year for you was 2023, that summer going into 2023, and then that season in 2023. I feel like you found it. You found your game. You found where you fit, and you had a really good season. What led up to that season for you to realize what needed to be done and what your habits needed to look like in order for you to be the player you wanted to be?
It was honestly, so that 2023 season. So yeah, like that year before 2022, just going in, I was doing a lot of work with Malik. Like me and Malik would go out and we'd do our catching drills, we'd do our whatever. And he was the one that was like, come on, like I'm gonna go do this, let's go do this. And I kind of just adopted that, like thanks to him, like he kind of showed me like what it's that routine and going to work and working hard and stuff like that kind of looked like. So I ended up just copying that and just continuing to do what he taught me to do. And after that ended up going into the season and having a great season in 2023. So
what did that season feel like for you? What were your feelings, man? Like finally, it's like you finally have that breakthrough where like I'm the guy, I'm getting the ball on a consistent basis and making big plays on a consistent basis. What did that feel like, bro?
It felt good to see the work that I was doing like translate onto the field. And there was like stuff where I'd be like plays that I would make, like small things or whatever, like damn, like I worked on that. Or like I'd watch film, like like that's stuff that I would work on. So it kind of clicked, like seeing that stuff go onto the field. Yeah.
It's like that Coach P's moment when we're sitting in film and like somebody does something that he did in the drill. He's like, that's the drill. That's the drill right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So You go to a national championship in 2023. Obviously, the first one that Montana's been to since 2009, the last time Coach Hauck was here. What was that experience like?
That was an amazing experience. Just being there, and I'm like, damn, like we're here. Like this is it. This is the moment and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a pretty big moment. That was awesome experience. And yeah.
Talk about like,
unfortunate.
Did you know at the beginning of that season you guys were going to be special? Or could you feel it? Was it the off-season training? What kind of gave you the understanding that team could be different?
I mean, I knew we had the pieces. I think there was a collective understanding that we had the pieces, but we just needed to put it together.
Yeah.
And yeah, after that loss at NAU, I think we like all collectively as a group were like, all right, like that's not us. We can be way better than this. And we kind of all just locked in, I guess. And yeah, just the pieces came together to make something. And yeah, we ended up going to the championship.
You hear coaches all the time say, for a team to be good, it's going to have to come from the leadership on the team. It can't come from the coaches. There has to be an aspect of where the players are personally invested in it. After that NAU loss, was there a moment where the seniors got together and had a conversation? Did you guys have a team conversation? Was there anything like that where you guys had a meeting and said, hey guys, we know where we want to get, we know where we can be, we got to lock in? Or was it just kind of an understanding?
I think it was kind of just an understanding. Like you would hear like sitting in the pods, like talking, just regular locker room talk. Like you could get the vibe that we all like had that understanding of, all right, we need to lock in, we need to do better than that. Like you would you wouldn't have those conversations like, no man, like whatever. Like everyone was like understanding that we needed to do what we needed to do. So
yeah,
it was good to have those conversations and kind of get that confirmation from each other. Like, okay, you know what's going on. I know what's going on. We need to get this going, type thing. So yeah, it was.
So first Big Sky championship since 2009. I was at that game. It was freaking awesome, man. Like, it was so cool to see you guys celebrate that. What was that feeling like for you, man? Like first group to do it in a long time, raise that trophy up with the Great Divide Trophy. What was that like, man?
Yeah, that was awesome moment as well. And that moment didn't really click for me until that next team meeting when Coach Hauck came in and said championships 19, working on 20. I was like, whoa,
man!
I've been saying 18 for what, had it 4 years at that point. So I was like, damn, all right, like that's when it kind of clicked. So yeah, that's
something I feel like people don't understand, because so let's break it down for people. Every time Hauck comes into a meeting, I can't even remember what he says first, but it's like, champions, you do it.
It's like good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So it's whatever, and then we repeat it. Good morning. Championships 8 or 19, working on 20. And then
and for the longest it was 18 working on 19. I can only imagine Thursday he comes in, or Friday, not Saturday, Friday he comes in 18 working on 19. Then Monday, next time you see him, 19 working on 20. I mean,
you're like, whoa.
And then, well, actually, even he says 19 working on 20, but after that, at that point, it's 2 working on 3.
Yeah. So after that,
playoffs.
Yeah. So we said it just to like, we did that, and he's like, "Yep, good job." But you guys know now is 2 working on 3, and we're okay.
Yeah. So that's something we talk about in sports psychology a lot, is having like a collective message for a team that you're all working towards. And I think that's one of the greatest things that Coach Hauck does with his team is everybody knows what we are shooting for. Everybody is in lockstep with what the mission is. Get your Montana degree, beat the neighbors, win the Big Sky, win the national championship. Those are the 4 goals every season. And if you're not working towards that, you're working backwards. Exactly. So I would commend Hauck for that.
Or you don't want to be there, get out.
Okay, so a majority of your college career was within the guise of the NIL era. There's some rules in place about Canadian players and being able to collect NIL. Talk a little bit about how you found out about that, how you navigated that, and what the experience was like for you in terms of NIL.
That kind of NIL it's kind of difficult, and it kind of sucks because I mean, us Canadian players, we're down here on a student visa, so if we're not allowed legally, we're not allowed to make money in the States. So if there was anything like NIL related to that, like our visa would get revoked and then we'd have to leave. So like there's it's very walking on a thin line with that, especially with NIL. So I wasn't able to make really any NIL money, but there was some stuff that was a little stuff that they were able to do where they were able to like do it in Canada and then have it paid to my Canadian account.
Yeah.
It's like a different bank account that I had. Like it was some, I don't really know how it works.
Bunch of hoops you got to jump through.
Yeah, some crazy stuff. So like there was a little bit of that, but I other than that, I didn't like. I had that coloring book, which I ended up having to once I found out that, because I started that coloring before I knew that, and then I can't remember who I was talking to. They're like, you can't make money in the States, and I was like, oh, okay. I need to. So I ended up just putting it all with my dad and putting my dad's name and everything. Yeah. It was his business at that point, so he'd run the business, and then, there was. So I had to stop that, and then because I was getting ready to like, sign contract with like Shields and the M store and things like that, and then I had to drop all those because I couldn't do any of that.
Man. Yeah. So talk about the genesis of the Spidey character that you've had the last 2 seasons. Where did that come from? And then talk a little bit about the book as well.
Yeah, that just came from just me being kind of a little nerd and Spider-Man fan, but also like kind of developing some sort of identity for myself. Like also to get that attention, like I wanted that attention as well of like, hey, I'm here, I'm a really good player, I'm a good receiver. Yeah. Like, so there, I wanted just maybe to help people like attach something along with that. Yep. So that's kind of where that came from. And then one of my half brothers, who's a graphic designer, he makes coloring books as well. So he's like, well, we could why don't you make a coloring book? That'd be a good idea. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. So me and my family talked about that and ended up working with a group of artists who made the pictures. I sent them all the pictures that I wanted, and we put together the book and then put it out. So that's how that happened. But yeah, Spider-Man thing was that was more of like a, like, hey, I'm here. I don't drop any balls. Like, so yeah.
So I feel like, at least for me, leaving Montana, one of the toughest things about leaving was the locker room environment, just because, I felt like we all got so close that 2021 year. COVID, we had been like it was like all of us that COVID year, like we had just 2 years of just going through the motions of the practices and, all the COVID stuff, all that.
Yeah.
What is one like funny or interesting memory from maybe the locker room at practice that you remember that, you'll always think back to?
I'll always remember the jokes we used to tell, especially that one thing that never leaves my mind, because like we'll still be messing with each other sometimes. I'm like, hey guys, you remember that one time we were in fall camp and nobody wanted to talk to each other because we all thought we were gonna get each other with some joke. And like that was like, it wasn't a riff, like everyone would be like, hey, like, no, don't talk to me. I actually want to ask you a question. They're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No. So that was all time for me. I don't know why, but that was all time in our locker room. Like, that jokes are just hilarious.
Oh man, that fall, bro. Oh my gosh. So what we're talking about, for y'all that don't know, the D's nuts jokes were just at an all-time high, man. We're not going to get in too much into it, but when I tell you, like, oh my God, like, and it's basically like a setup and punchline. So I'm asking you a question. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this. The punchline is, D's, and it got so bad, man. It got so bad.
It was really bad.
Freaking Brady, man. Brady Lang got me.
Day setup. It came to like multiple day setups. You'd ask a question one day, you'd come back 3 days later. and you wouldn't be out of your mind.
Man, that was a great summer. That was like the best fall camp just because of that. Just like, it was the best.
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to give a message to a young Canadian athlete looking to follow in your footsteps. What would you tell them, in order to give them maybe some motivation on the process or, encourage them to keep going?
I would say be patient and bet on yourself. Just how I do. Bet your worth, where you belong or where you want to go. So bet on yourself and you'll get there. Don't listen to anybody else who's going to tell you whatever. Like, bet on yourself and find that place that's going to take that chance on you. Like, all you need is a chance to prove yourself. So just bet on yourself, get your foot in the door, and then after that, do everything right and be coachable. Don't screw up. Don't mess up with your grades like I did. I got lucky with that. But
I got lucky too, man. I got blessed.
So bet on yourself, take a chance, work hard. Hard work pays off. So all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's to the young Canadian kids.
Mm-hmm.
A young Keelan White, 9th grade Keelan White. What would you tell him if you could go back and give him a message? Would it be the same message to the young Canadian kids?
Probably, because I was kind of like, that was a message that was being relayed to me from various places. Like Game Ready was probably the biggest influence on that. Was like, hard work pays off. So if you just work hard and put your head down and bet on yourself, like, things will come to you, opportunities will come, and then you got to take advantage of that opportunity. So I would tell it, just take advantage of as many opportunities as you can. So
man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really out of questions for you, man. I'm really excited to see, first off, I just want to give you your flowers, bro. I saw you as a freshman. I saw what your work ethic was. I just got to tell you in the flesh, bro, when I came back and I was running routes with you guys before my USFL season, that was really leading up to the 2023 season for you guys. Mm-hmm. When I came back and just saw your work ethic, I saw your mentality, man. I saw how, like, I could see that it had finally clicked, bro, because 19, 20, 21, you're still a young kid, still trying to figure it out, get your grades right. You're on scholarship now. I could kind of see that you didn't really understand it 100%. Yeah. And you spoke about the influence that Malik had on you. I'm so glad you had a mentor like him. But I just want to tell you, bro, I'm so happy that you had the career that you had and you are where you are right now, looking to go play professional football, bro. Like, I knew you had the talent. Mm-hmm. I always wanted you to be able to put it all together, bro, and you did, and I'm so freaking happy for you. I'm so proud of you. I want to give you your flowers right now, bro, because it's huge, bro. It's freaking huge, man. Like, not everybody gets it. Not everybody understands it. Not everybody sees it. And, you saw it through. You put in the work, and you are where you are because you did that. And, I'm so proud of you.
Also, at that point, one thing, I guess, too, was, like, we had no leadership in the receiver room at that point. Like, it was just juniors at that. So I was like, well, I kind of looked at myself and I was like, well, I'm the most experienced here, so I kind of have to lead by example at that in that aspect. So I kind of had to lock it in there too. But thank you.
So it was kind of like a situation where you didn't want the torch to fall. You didn't want to be the one to say, like, I didn't carry this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that. But thank you. I appreciate
any
it.
Messages.
They mean a
any
lot.
Messages that you want to send?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
What do you mean messages? Like,
well, I want to thank you for coming on the channel, bro. Yeah. I appreciate you so much for giving me your time. Good luck at Pro Day. I'll most likely pop out to Pro Day. Come check you guys out. I can't wait to see what you guys are able to do. But thank you so much for joining me, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. That's the Keelan White interview, y'all.